What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? Casual Geographics has dropped a new one for us. This was called How a Tiny Cat Dog Took Over the World. Alright, so it looks like it's story time. So I guess it's gonna be like the other one when last time we did this was like the wolf that became leader of his pack and basically saved his pack. Alright, so these are always some interesting stories. Let's go ahead and check it out.
What does the fox say? What does the fox say? What does the fox say?
Hi, Cleo. Hi.
All right.
Okay, that lets me know that I never want to own a fox. That sound is annoying. I'm so what? Like what is that?
Hi.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
All right, pop quiz. What is the most widespread carnivore on Earth? Out of all of those animals in the world, which one managed to spread further and thrive in more places than any other? This isn't rhetorical, by the way. Comment your answer. I'm actually curious. All votes in? Okay, good. It's the red fox. I don't know when it happened, but somewhere in the history of Earth, there was a subplot where the fox took over the world, and they have not let up since. Today, there's about 23 flavors of fox seasoning this big ball of dirt and water, with well over 40 subspecies on their roster. And they are everywhere. From griefing gardens in the suburbs, to pickpocketing polar bears in the north, to murking koalas in Australia. Trust and believe we gonna get to that. You can find some Vulpes variant virtually anywhere in the world that isn't the ocean or Antarctica. And the biggest flex of the foxes is the red fox. Despite being in the weight class of a small dog, no other mammalian carnivore owns more real estate. And even though they're invited to the carnivore cook,
Hold up.
small dog, no other mammalian carnivore owns more
Jeez. More than half the world. Yeah.
real estate. And even though they're invited to the carnivore cookout, technically they're omnivores, which means they eat, and I do not say this lightly, everything. Rabbits, rodents, birds, frogs, worms, fish, crabs, clams, insects, lizards, eggs, fruits, plants, garbage, cat food, dog food, carry-on, and I don't mean the bag, and actual feces. Literally, their whole meal plan is, if it doesn't kill them first, they'll eat it. Foxes are also able to exploit the Earth's magnetic fields in order to catch bodies. You've probably seen this thing foxes do where they'll swan dive into a pile of snow. So cute. It's called mousing, and foxes are able to use magnetic fields as this kind of internal GPS, and they cross-reference that with a broken sense of hearing to figure out exactly where their target is and exactly where to land a critical hit. Foxes pretty much have a real-life wall hack, and they're one of the few animals to hunt like this. They're also smart enough to memorize the
Magnetic field and super hearing. I was like a super animal that we're dealing with here. What is this? And that dive. Just look how clean that dive is.
Sense of hearing to figure out exactly where their target is and exactly where to land a critical hit. Foxes pretty much have a real-life wall hack, and they're one of the few animals to hunt like this. They're also smart enough.
Imagine you, whatever little rodent or whatever, just chilling, and next you know, a fox jaws just come busting through, snatching you up so fast you can't even think. Crazy.
To memorize the migration patterns of certain species of birds, meaning they know the exact time to pull up for free and easy protein. Foxes also managed to figure out the same with some turtles, since timing it right after they lay their eggs and peace out means low effort omelets. Call that over easy. And arguably, no
I like that joke, that was funny.
places foxed around and found out more than Australia. Because way back in the 1800s, Europeans airdropped red foxes to the land down under for the sport of fox hunting. Evidently, the foxes weren't about to go down like that. To the point where a couple years ago, it's estimated that over 7 million foxes exist in Australia as a perpetual middle finger to the settlers that thought they'd be light work. Some unhinged foxes even learned to climb trees in order to snatch baby koalas and sugar gliders, proving that any animal that gets introduced to Australia will inevitably become a problem. And now, foxes and feral cats
For real. Quit sending stuff to Australia, man. We've done enough damage to that place. Oh man.
So like the Kobe and Shaq have put in native Australian animals on a shirt. That ability to adapt means foxes are one of the very few predators that do better in cities. Not as well, not almost as well, no, better. Today, the highest density of foxes living in Britain are shacking it up in the city. In some neighborhoods, you'll find twice as many fox families than you would in the countryside, and 200 times as many than in some desolate moors. And even though they get straight up
Hold up, what was that?
and 200 times as many than in some desolate moors.
Oh, moors, boggy area, especially when that's pretty dominated by grass. Okay.
And even though they get straight up bullied by bigger canines, foxes don't rely on a pack structure the same way wolves do. And they have enough pretty privilege to dodge the smoke everyone seems to have for coyotes. It also helps that they're nocturnal and move like introverts. Mama fox will go out of her way to clean it.
So they adapted in every way possible, including the highest level of adaptation, becoming pets. Once you become a pet, you're set for life.
The den area so well that the average person could walk right past it and not even realize there's a whole family underground. And just like with birds, foxes will study and memorize the schedule of humans in the area and only come out when it's least active. They'll even take advantage of garbage schedules so they know exactly when to come root through your trash. And they'll even take note of what times you often feed your pets so that they can steal their share. And you may never even notice. Depending on where you live, you can probably count on one hand how many foxes you've seen in your neighborhood, even if you've lived around them your entire life. And lucky for them, they happen to be just cute enough to not have to worry about getting their existence nuked like some of their predators. Speaking of which, let's talk about the many enemies of the fox. You got wolves, coyotes, cougars, lynxes, birds of prey, bears, wolverines, cars, and many, many more. Because the one bad thing about being a fox is everything on the census either wants to eat you or wants to kill you because you eat the same things. In fact, the first and sometimes last enemy they'll make is their family. Fox cubs will fight their siblings off rip in order to establish a hierarchy. It's not the cute Disney play fighting I used to think it was. 20% of fox kids born will never leave the den. It's just straight violence out the womb. I can't even say it's on site since baby foxes live the Helen Keller experience for the first 2 weeks of their life. Lucky for them, foxes often mate for life and bring up the kids together. I mentioned this in the Father's Day episode last video, but fox fathers will hide food around the den in these little pantries in order to teach his kids how to find food for themselves. I want you to keep that pantry thing in mind. We're gonna come back to that. Fox cubs have a couple months of a grace period before they have to go out and figure out life on their own. Lucky for them, they're part of the most unfairly versatile group of animals you'll ever see. Like, did you know foxes can climb trees? No, I don't mean like fully scale that John. The gray fox has been seen ascending over 70 feet up into a tree, and they're one of the few foxes that flex retractable claws, which allows gray foxes to avoid conflict with predators like coyotes. Go ahead and ask cheetahs how important that is. Tree climbing only proves...
Oh man, gotta bring in the cheetahs. Cheetahs are always getting bitched. Oh man. Oh, but that's crazy though. Retractable claws, so that's basically like they're like cats almost in a sense.
Avoid conflict with predators like coyotes. Go ahead and ask cheetahs how important that is. Tree climbing only proves that foxes are just cat software marrying dog hardware. A cat dog, if you will. And it shows that there is
for real. For real. Dogs with cat abilities, crazy.
A lot of real estate on Earth that a fox can't claim. And no fox proves this more than my personal favorite, the Arctic fox. Because this igloo puppy has zero business surviving out here. Not only is it cold enough to get one shot by wind, the Arctic fox also has ops like wolves and polar bears to worry about. And since pretty much anything goes in Satan's ice rink, both of them will not hesitate to eat a fun-sized fox. And it really be your own kind, since another unlikely menace to an ice fox's life is the red fox. Because as small as they are, the red fox is still 2 to 3 times bigger than their snowy cousins. And yes, red foxes will 100% murk and eat their weaker relatives if it means surviving. So you'd think it'd be curtains for any pint-sized predator that even tries out here. Well, about that. Don't think for a second Arctic foxes don't have their tricks too. They'll strategically follow polar bears for miles just to clean off whatever they don't finish. We're talking about a house cat-sized fox slipping food from the literal biggest land predator on the planet, while also managing to stay far enough to avoid getting their consciousness confiscated permanently. These babyface survivors will even
It's like you're getting annoyed, like, leave me alone. I ain't done my food yet. I said I ain't done, move. Look at it, it's like he's not really attacking, he's just like, it ain't your turn yet, it ain't your turn yet.
We're talking about a house cat-sized fox slipping food from the literal biggest land predator on the planet, while also managing to stay far enough to avoid getting their consciousness confiscated permanently.
He's like, I told you, wait your damn turn.
These babyface survivors will even resort to scavenging the polar bear's food, except after...
It ain't like, he knows he's there the entire time, he's not even bothered by it. He just told him, wait your turn, I'm not finished with my food yet. That's crazy though, he's so used to it. It's just like, all right, I just got a fox following me.
It's already been digested and taken the south exit. Yeah, they're a different kind of potty mouth.
Wait, what?
Except after permanently. These babyface survivors will even resort to scavenging the polar bear's food, except after it's already been digested and taken the south exit.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They're a different kind of potty mouth. But the Arctic fox has a secret to never having to miss a meal. These Q-tip terriers have a pantry system where they'll bury any extra food in a network of underground dens, which can stretch across 20 miles. And it's these food supplies that keeps the Arctic fox's pulse going in the dead of winter. There was even one time where researchers uncovered a fox cellar containing 38 birds, 4 rabbits, and about a dozen eggs. Oh, it's hoarding on 1,000, but it's what keeps them Euro-stepping death and ghosting the Grim Reaper.
That ain't hoarding though. That hoarding is like TV show. You see all that garbage in people's houses. No, he ain't collecting garbage. That's food. That's survival. Oh man, that shows how smart they are. That's like I said, I wouldn't say human behavior, no, but no, that's just intelligence at work. It's like, I need to survive the winter. Let me go ahead and collect these animals and put them away so that when I'm hungry, I can come back. I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna make it. See, that's just intelligence at work. Love it.
This cotton-colored canine has one more trick too. Coming in all white helps the glacier jockey cosplay as a snowdrift in order to avoid predators. But once the sun finally makes an appearance like an absentee father on tax day, the longer daylight triggers hormonal changes that causes them to change coats. They go from whiter than a party in the Hamptons to a thinner coat that matches the tundra the Arctic turns into. And it's all these abilities that allows the chameleon of foxes to live in one of the most unlivable places.
So his fur is literally changing with the landscape for camouflage. See, it's broken. It's broken. You need the nerf. That's not fair. It's not fair.
On Earth. And so does the smallest fox in the world. On the other side of the spectrum, the Fennec Fox survives in a very different kind of desert. It's the smallest canine in the world and could probably get bodied by a chihuahua. Those massive ears are good for 3 things: increasing their overall surface area to help keep them cool, the same way elephant ears do, helping them pinpoint the insects, lizards, and rodents on its grocery list even while they're underground, and for looking absolutely adorable doing it. Like I said, foxes are broken, especially since
For real. And the looking adorable part is the most broken feature. Because they're not going to get wiped out. They're going to be made pets. And it just makes their lives that much easier. But seriously though, being able to hear insects underground, that's insane.
Since Fennecs can live off the moisture they get from food and by licking the dew from their dens. Not only that, but their kidneys are actually designed to function off very little actual water, making this travel-sized fox one of the few animals able to survive in the desert without drinking actual water. And as a human, you tap out from life after about 3 days of a water fast. In fact, where the Fennec Fox may never have to drink at all, the average adult should drink about 48 ounces a day. That's just over 2 of these, which can often feel like a chore, but Arup's flavor pods makes it way easier. These pods actually manage to trick your brain by using scent flavors.
Alright, that was a nice little transition there. I'll give it to you.
Much more than a few times. And you know this isn't just an ad, I literally tell y'all to drink water in every single video. And now I can help with that. So make sure you check out Arup and their many flavor pods using the link in the description. Use the code CASUALGEO15 for 15% off. And like always, make sure y'all staying hydrated out there. Hydration isn't a problem for a pocket-sized sand pup. Oh, and by the way, since their kidneys are always on desert mode, Fennec's fox pee is super concentrated and smells like pee-pee le pew. And since foxes will pee on any surface, 2 hours with a Fennec under your roof and your house will smell like a skunk orgy. So yeah, don't be confusing them for good pets. You shouldn't confuse them for a pale fox either. That's offensive to them. They look similar, but the pale fox is slightly bigger, has a smaller range, and is overall the less clouded dupe of the Fennec. And if you take a quick trip a couple 100 miles down south, you'll find the bat-eared fox. Unlike the rest of the fox family, their meal plan contains almost entirely insects, with most of their protein coming from termites. Those satellite dish ears allows it to eavesdrop on termite affairs before it packs them. They've even gone ahead and invested in extra teeth to help with their termite terminating tendencies. Bat ears also acts on fox-like by living in packs, usually made of a mating pair and their children.
You think about that, it's like if they eat primarily termites, but this is just, it's like, I wonder if anybody ever thought about using them for pest control. You ever think, I don't know. You ever think that would work? Probably not. Probably not. Probably in a disaster, you know?
Kind of the same way wolf packs work. It's like a fox that slept through the lecture on how to fox 101, which actually makes a lot of sense since technically bat-eared foxes aren't true foxes. There are 12 species that earn the title of true fox, and 4 of them we've already mentioned: the red fox, the Arctic, the Fennec, and the pale fox. Another true fox is the Tibetan fox. No, I'm serious. That's exactly what they look like. Like a reborn human realizing reincarnation ain't always sweet. Or like nature got drunk and tried redrawing foxes.
A fox with that "I'm just so done with the world" kind of look on his face. Just look at this. This is the everyday sucks for me kind of look. It's like, I'm still alive. Damn it.
Like a reborn human realizing reincarnation ain't always sweet. Or like nature got drunk and tried redrawing foxes strictly from memory and then uploaded it as a dare. It's the only animal able to side-eye you while looking you dead in the face. A picture's worth 1,000...
sorry. Now you looking dead in your face. Oh man. I'm not gonna make this one. I'm still tripping on this fox. This is crazy.
There. It's the only animal able to side-eye you while looking you dead in the face. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and every image of a Tibetan fox tells a story of apathy, indifference, and a splash of contempt. Now, you might be wondering why this fox looks like an AI-generated Renaissance painting. Some say it's to help them cope with a windy environment. Some say it's because their skulls are specialized for carnivory. I say God or nature, whoever did this to them, has a twisted sense of humor. Evidently, the Tibetan fox does not. Also, you know the whole coyote-badger team-up that we all love so much and can't get enough of? Apparently, the Tibetan fox has the same type of arrangement with Himalayan brown bears, where the bears will dig out pika burrows, that's a pika, and force them to run on land, where they get chased down by the fox. The fox isn't the digger the bear is, but the fox has better foot speed, so like any true dynamic duo, they cover each other's weaknesses, even if one of them looks allergic to oxygen. I'm gonna run through a couple more...
Damn. You gotta keep roasting his face. I can't take it.
Duo, they cover each other's weaknesses, even if one of them looks allergic to oxygen. I'm gonna run through a couple more foxes real quick. We have Blandford's fox, found in the Middle East and Central Asia. They're easily the goats of foxes, able to scale anything short of 90 degrees and able to do the equivalent of a 10-foot box jump by leaping onto ledges. There's the kit fox of the Southwest, also known as the San Joaquin fox, and they're basically the American edition of the Fennec Fox. We can't forget about the Corsac fox of the Mongolian steppe and Central Asian deserts. Then you got the Cape fox of South America, and the slightly bigger Indian-based Bengal fox. I was not kidding, unless you're neighbors with the cast of Happy Feet, there's likely more foxes in your area than hot singles just dying to meet you. Foxes come in so many forms that they even have their equivalent of a shiny Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the cross fox. It's actually a red fox with partial melanism. You know, the same thing that turns leopards and jaguars into black panthers. They're more common in Canada, where up to a third of the red fox population has this bimelanated alternate skin. And even rarer than them are silver foxes, which is just a red fox with complete melanism, gang. Cause yeah, red foxes aren't always red. Like I said, foxes exist in many forms, but there's one final form not even they saw coming. Pets. That's right, there's a population of domestic foxes in the world as we speak. Basically, the lore goes, this guy, Dmitry Belyaev, asked a question. How did we go from this apex predator to a lapdog? So he and graduate Ludmila Trut tried to see if they could replicate the wolf domestication process, except with foxes. They created a fox farm with 100 vixens and 30 males, and which foxes got to mate depended on which ones were the most tolerant of humans. The most human-friendly foxes fornicated, and this process repeated itself with the next generation. Essentially, they were selecting for traits that would make them the most fit for human companionship. And as the experiment wore on, the foxes went from not fearful of people, to tolerant of people, to actively seeking out people. Later generations would develop an affinity towards humans, sniffing and licking people, and even replacing the aggressive yips and shrieks with more passive whimpers and pants. But what we weren't expecting was, as their personalities and attitudes towards people changed, so did their bodies. The more people-friendly foxes sported droopy ears and curled up tails, which is pretty different from the upright ears and downwards pointed tails of their wild cousins. And after decades of successfully playing God with foxes, we now live in a world where you can adopt and own a pet silver fox. Now here's a part of the video where I tell you why you ain't ready for that.
I don't even think you need to get that part of the video from me. Everything you was talking about beforehand about what they do, let me know that you don't want to own a fox. But let's go ahead and hear it again.
They poop and pee everywhere, and there isn't a surface in their house they can't get to.
You little shit.
They scream, especially at night. You'll be finding out what the fox says while you're trying to count sheep. Not to mention you're probably going to sacrifice furniture for their happiness. That combination adds up to a good chance you're up at 3 AM cleaning fox feces off the top of your fridge while cursing yourself for not just getting a hamster. You can probably find a way to make it work if you do the research and you're committed enough, but, and I'm going to say this as many times as it's applicable, if you're that willing to sacrifice your sleep, sanity, and social life for a screaming, pooping, deratio of a creature, just have children, because
Oh, so true, so true. I always say pets are just children that never grow up and move out. Oh.
Sanity and social life for a screaming, pooping, deratio of a creature, just have children. Because foxes are great wild animals, but they can really be some mid-as-hell pets. But that's gonna do it for this video. Friendly reminder that I do have a book out. It's called 100 Animals That Can, Redacted, Kill You. Link in description if you're interested. Shout out to AirUp for sponsoring this video. Shout out to you all for watching this video. Drink water, wear sunscreen, touch grass, hug your parents, and I'ma see y'all in the next one. Oh yeah, happy birthday to me.
Oh, happy birthday.
Are you my quirky potato? Are you my porky potato? Hi. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Ooh. You just snatched up that camera. You ain't letting it go. So that's what you have to look forward to if you want them as a pet. So, yeah, good luck with that. Ain't gonna be me. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. And let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, all right? So, till next time, take care of yourselves. And I'm out of here.